Hello everybody, welcome to Crafting and Cruising. I'm Lisa and I'm glad that you are here. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes to see if anybody gets on. When you do, please let me know you're here, and if you watch the replay later, please let me know you're watching the replay. We are going to finish what I started yesterday. I started a tray that I put leaves that I had actually found myself in. First I painted the tray. It was kind of a burgundy. So I painted it white, and then I waxed over it to kind of antique it. Then yesterday afternoon I did the same thing to the bottom and the sides. So this is what it looks like right now. I don't know how to flip my camera. I hope when somebody comes on here they can tell me how to flip my camera. And so I'm going to resin this so it'll be food safe. We're camping in the Smoky Mountains and we're hosting this weekend. So Saturday night we are putting on an Italian dinner. And so I'd like to be able to use this to carry some things out on. Also, I last night worked on a sign that you all saw me if you were on here that says hello fall, although it's backwards, and it was from the Dollar Tree. It was just a plain wood. I painted both sides. Now it's the right way. I painted both sides white first, and then I went in and put black stripes and added some white polka dots. And I made sure that I brought the dots and the black stripe all the way around both of the edges. And then today, I think I'm going to go back and add a few gold polka dots in the white. So I was going to do that with you guys on here. But first, I wanted to do the tray. So, a couple of things about this tray. Jody Blowgood, hello my sister friend. Let me turn my computer on so I can see when people get on. Hold on, I'll be right back. Here we are. Okay. Now when I come over here, I'll be able to see you guys. So Jody, this was a tray. I think you saw it last weekend. It was just burgundy and had some, it was kind of crackled inside. So I painted it white all the way around, found these leaves different places, dried them out, glued them in. After I painted it white, I put a bare wax over it to make it kind of look antique-ish. I was going to then use Mod Podge to put the leaves down, but I found out you can't do that with wax on a wax surface, so I had to use hot melt. Last night I was going to resin it to make it food safe, but those of you who were on here last night know that when I got back from having dinner with some of our camping friends, I was trying to shut the door to my cabin and I caught my thumb. I slammed it right on my thumb. You can, it's gross, I know, but you can see blood under there. I'm definitely going to lose the whole thumbnail. You can tell that it's swelled, it throbbed. I called one of my camping friends over here to help me. It's nasty. And so I have to keep taking ibuprofen every 8 hours so it won't keep throbbing. But anyway, today, and I see some of these leaves are curling up where I put them down, so hopefully the resin will work. I'm going to make a resin and put on here. In fact, let me turn, I'm going to turn my light up over my desk. I had turned it down some because it was so bright. But I'm going to turn that back up, and I think my glue gun is already plugged in. So I'll do that in a minute. Here's what I want to show you. Hey, Debbie Prater Norman. This, once I put the resin in it, has to cure for 24 hours. And it doesn't, 24 to 48. And it doesn't need, it's hurting, Debbie, throbbing. But it is better. It doesn't need to be around any place where bugs or dust or dirt or whatever will get in it. So I'm going to actually put it, I'm going to hold my camera and turn you slowly so as not to make you dizzy. let me turn the camera like this. I'm going to put it right there on my stovetop. But in order to do that, I hope you guys can see. I'm going to lay it right here real quick and show you. I have to make sure that it's level because the motorhome is not totally level itself. And if I don't make it level, then the resin won't be level. So Rodney suggested I put a couple of knives under here, which I've done. And now I have a level. And it looks good that way. And when I turn it, it looks good this way. So I know that when I put it on the knives, once I put the resin in, that it's going to be fine. So I'm going to bring you over here and try not to drop it again. I'll tilt you down, lower you down some, and we're going to mix the resin. Here is the resin that I'm using. If you don't choose a resin that's doesn't have a big odor, hey Susie Craig, then you'll probably regret it. So you need to wear a mask, a heavy-duty face mask, if you're going to use a resin that smells bad. This doesn't. This is Amazing Clear Cast. Hey Micheline, and it's 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. You have to have equal parts for it to work. So I'm going to bring my cups over here where I've already marked them. I'm just using 2 because I will eventually combine them into 1. Okay. So there's a part A and a part 1 and this is part A and part B. Okay. So this is part A. They're both very thick. I'm going to pour the resin in part A, and then I'm going to pour in part B in the B cup, and then I'm going to combine the one from B into the A cup and mix them for 2 to 3 minutes. You probably will end up with a few bubbles. The idea is to have as few bubbles as possible, and you don't want to see any swirls left. Love your white pumpkin. Oh, thank you. You don't want to have any swirls left in it if you can help it. So that's part A. I'm going to set it to the side. Now I'm going to do part B. It's a little bit thinner. No smell, so I'm not wearing any kind of a mask on my face. This is why I like this resin. I think I got this. It was actually on sale. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby, but it was on sale for $23.99. Okay, so now I'm going to take part B and put it into part A, and I'm going to scrape it out with just a popsicle stick. I need to put some gloves on this hand anyway, because you don't want this resin all over your hands and your clothes. And I actually have a apron out here I should put on as well. You want to scrape the sides as you're mixing the two, and you want to make sure that you've gotten every single bit of that out of there. While that drips down there, let me put on my apron and get some gloves and put on. It's really very simple, but for some reason a lot of people are intimidated by using resin. I don't know why. And so a lot of people don't use it. But I love it. I love the clear, shiny coat that it puts on objects. And especially if it's going to be something that you're going to be using with food, then you need it to be food safe. So resin is the only way to go. Now, I just remembered that I said my tray has a few leaves that need to be glued down. So while I'm mixing my resin, I'm going to let these be drying, where I'm going to glue them. So let me set that to the side and put this up here. Y'all see the tray, and let me just put a little bit of glue where these leaves are trying to come up, because I want them to all be laying flat or close to flat when I put the resin in. The resin will help flatten it, but I don't want any big pieces sticking up. So these can kind of, cool off while I'm mixing the resin. Today I went with a couple of my crafting friends to the knife store in Sevierville. I've never been there, but it has knives and guns, but it also has like a home decor section, and it's kind of fun. It's freezing cold here today and cloudy. The weather forecast had said it was going to be sunny and beautiful, and somebody missed, because it is not sunny and it's not beautiful. It's gloomy. However, I'm a cold weather person, so I'm not complaining because I love it. But I turned the heat on in the RV this morning when I got up, because I was freezing. And I don't know, just that smell of the heat, I love it. And if Debbie Jed gets on here, I totally forgot to send you Randy and Beth's address. I just realized, so I will do that if you still want to send them a card. Okay, I'm gonna stop with that, because I think the resin will help weight it down. So let me set this down, and now I'm going to remove this B cup. I think it's pretty well all gotten down in there, and I'm going to start stirring and mixing the two together. I'm going to try not to stir very fast, because that will stir up bubbles, and we don't want that. Remember, I said you want to scrape the sides. I can actually see where the parts are separated in this clear cup, which is good, because I'll know then better when it's all mixed. This resin is self-leveling, so you don't have to worry about smoothing it out yourself to make sure that everything is completely level. It will level itself, but that's all the more reason why you want to check whatever surface you're going to leave it on to dry, to make sure that it is completely level. Otherwise, you'll end up with thick parts on one end and thinner parts on the other end, and you won't like it. The last thing I resined, I used my heat tool over here, which is kind of loud. I hate using it. One of these days I'm going to get one of those real quiet ones. But once I poured the resin, it kind of got bubbles, and so I used the heat tool to make sure that the bubbles were all out, because if you don't, then it'll dry with bubbles in it. Most of the time, people don't like that. So again, I can see where the bottom, the part A, is still not totally stirred up. And I can also see that there's not too many swirls right here. So I'm just going to keep on for another minute or so, making sure that I scrape it. Micheline, don't be scared of resin. It's just not hard. It's very simple. What were the two American something, and what was the other? What were the two American something? Amazing clear coat, is that what you're talking about? Debbie, Norman, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Micheline, my thumb is very swollen, purple, black. Definitely I'm going to lose the nail. I did pretty well last night, and I have a small ice pack a friend from the camping group loaned to me to use. I'm going to use after I get off my live. That part of my thumb is real puffy where I slammed it. You can see dried blood under my nail, but it's very, very sore. It doesn't throb really anymore. It just hurts. And I have to make sure that I don't bump into anything. It's hard to put my earrings in. It's hard to put my clothes on. It's hard to do anything, even though it's my left hand, because you don't realize how much you use your thumb. All right, so I'm scraping the sides down. Make sure I get it all in there. Now, a lot of times, crafters end up making too much resin. That's okay. Either try to find something else that you can resin while you've got it made, or you just throw it away, which we don't like to do because things cost money and we don't like to throw them away, but sometimes you have to. All right, let me try to move some stuff out of my way so I can at least get this fairly centered on here before I pour it. And once I get it all poured, then I will take it over and put it on the stove. So sorry to hear that your thumb does look very sore. My son did the same thing to his thumbnail. Close the truck. Ugh, I dread it. Okay. Now, another thing about resin, if you have anything with cracks in the bottom, the resin will seep through it. So you need to be very, very careful to put something under it, and especially depending on where you're going to lay it. If you're going to lay it on a table or something, you can pretty well count on it getting ruined if there's a crack anywhere in it. I had a 30-gallon trash bag under the last piece that I resined, and it's a good thing I did because I did it on my dining room table, and it went through on the trash bag. So you have to be really cognizant of where you're putting your object when you get ready to pour the resin. Now I'm hoping the weight of this resin is going to lay some of these places down that are sticking up. If for some reason I decide I don't have enough resin, I can mix up some more. I thought I was going to have plenty and then some, but since I'm kind of depending on this to hold some of my leaves down, I'm not sure that I'm going to end up having enough. But you see, I'm just kind of working back and forth, because it will level itself out. I wish I could look at your comments. I can't right now because I really got to stay focused on what I'm doing, but I will look at them as soon as I stop, and I will go back and read them all. I'm so grateful for all of you that get on here to support me, because you know I'm new at this. My page is new. It hasn't had time to really build itself up, and so I'm very grateful for you who come on and stick with me and support me. And another way you could really help build my page is to not only comment, but to share it maybe on your personal pages, and invite, you know, people you know to come watch. You know, even if they're not crafters, I think it's just fun to watch people, to hear people's stories, see what they're up to. To me, that's just fun. So, you know, I hope we can build it together and make it be just a really fun experience. I think I am gonna need to mix up some more, maybe. I may end up having enough. Gotta make sure I get it on these edges. I think I got most of those edges okay. I hope y'all can see what I'm doing. Maybe a little bit over here. You know what? I'm going to mix up a little bit more. And I'm going to use my little thing right here to see if I can, yeah, lower these leaves like down in the resin. And what I can do is I can come back periodically and check to see how they're doing and maybe push them down. But I really believe if I will just make more resin and put enough weight on the leaves, that it'll keep them down. So let me mix up just a little more. I'm not gonna fill it all the way up. I'm gonna do about halfway of what I did before. Will you have enough resin? I don't know. I think I need to mix up some more. I'd rather have too much than too little. And fortunately, it's not going to have one more paint stick over here. It doesn't dry so fast that you don't have time to do that. So I really should have a glove on this hand because I can feel myself getting resin on it. I think I read the obituary of Randy and Beth's daughter Ashley that passed away. I think Thursday may be her service. Visitation beforehand and then her service. And also all day Thursday there's going to be many crafters that are going to come on in 30-minute increments. They've set up a page and they're all going to make a craft, and then each crafter is going to auction off their craft at the end of their time. So they'll actually craft for like 25 minutes, and then they will auction their piece off, and all of that money will go to Beth and Randy to help them bury their daughter. And what other expenses they need, it will help them. So there's still time to give to the GoFundMe if you want to, and definitely cards. Even my friend Debbie doesn't know them, but she's the one that was asking for their address, so she could send them a card. I think that's so sweet. All right, let's see if I can. I need some more right there. Need some more right there. And guess what? It's not going to be perfect, and that is perfectly okay with me. I'm going to be the one using it. I don't plan to sell it. And so I'm good with perfectly imperfect. I am glad I made up some more though, because I see some places that just never were covered in the first round. They will level out, but I like making sure everything has some. If y'all see a place that I missed, tell me. If I need to, I can mix up some more. It really brings out the color of the leaves too. I love this. Okie dokie. So I'm going to run the heat tool just to make sure. I really don't see a lot of bubbles, but I want to make sure that there are no bubbles. I think that's about it. And what I'll probably do is wait and put the twine around the handles after all this gets done. Yeah, when I put it in the light, I can see some bubbles. Let me see if I can possibly just push any of these down so they'll stay. It may not, but certainly I've got enough stuff in there to hold them down. Here hear a helicopter. You know, in Gatlinburg in the Smoky Mountains, helicopter rides are the thing. They take you over the mountains. We haven't done that here, I don't think. Rodney and I have. We did it in Hawaii and loved it. But there have been some accidents around Gatlinburg that haven't turned out very well. All right, let me turn this heat tool on. I was confused if you're using two different products you're missing. No. They both come together, Debbie, in the box. There's a part A and a part B, and you're supposed to mix them evenly in equal amounts, and then you mix them together and you stir for 1 to 2 minutes until you see no bubbles, until you see no swirls in your cup. And then once you know that it's like you want it, then you pour it on your piece. Your piece needs to be set level for 24 to 48 hours. And now I can put food on this and serve it, and it will be food safe. Y'all, this one leaf in here is fascinating to look at. I'll show you in a minute. You might be able to see it. It's this one right here. It doesn't even look like a real leaf, but it is. I found all these myself. This one over here is really pretty too. Okay, a couple more places I see could use a little more resin, if I can manage to get any more to come out of this cup. And what I might do really is take this and put it on here like this. That's good. Wherever I can see that there's no coverage, I don't want to trust that it will totally level itself out, so I'd rather get the excess from the cup and put on here. Yeah, there's a lot more down in there I didn't see. You know, a lot of times this stuff has to just settle until you, and then you can go back and see that you still have some in there. Now that one stayed down nicely, pushing it in. You are welcome, Debbie. I hope you'll try some resin and not be afraid to try it. When I was taking watercolor classes, my art teacher used to say when people would get upset about something they had done or they didn't like the way it looked or whatever, she would say, it is paint and paper. If you don't like it, all you have to do is paint over it. In the case of watercolor, if it wasn't, if they were all transparent colors, you could stick your whole watercolor paper in a tub of water, a clean tub of water, and let it soak, and it would take all the paint back out of it. And you could just let it dry. Home sweet create. Hi, sweet Jen. I just got through putting the resin on here. Some of the leaves are sticking up a little bit, but I will come back periodically and just try to kind of push them down in there while it begins to dry. I was hoping that all the weight of the resin would hold it down, but so far it's not totally holding them down. This one right here is really a booger. He wants to stick up all the time. I told him, Jen, that I made sure that my space over here was leveled out, because on my in our rig it's not level. Thank you for asking, Jen. It's very, very painful. I did pretty good last night. I woke up in the middle of the night and it was throbbing again and bleeding again, so I took some more 800 ibuprofen, and then one of my camping friends gave me a ice pack to bring in today to see if I can put that on it. No question I'm going to lose the fingernail, and you can tell when you look at it that it's real puffy out like here. But I'll be fine. Okay, so here we go. Let me hit it one more time with this glue tool, since I added some more resin to make sure I got all the bubbles out. Then we're going to move it over and let it do its thing. And I'm going to do the gold dots on the Hello Fall sign that I started last night. Okay. And I can show Jen around the bus like I told her I was going to. Thank you, Jen. It'll be fun. Okay. I'm going to put this over here. I'll be right back. Let me make sure it's leveled out. Set my leveler right here. Yep. Whoops. Looks good, y'all. Alrighty. Now, let me throw this away. I'm going to take Jen and show her around the bus. Y'all can see again, too, in case she has to go. Let me wipe this stuff off my fingers before it resins my entire finger. Sometimes I don't use the best judgment when I'm crafting. Okie doke. So, are you ready? Oh, that's up close and personal. Let me turn the camera. So, here's the front. Kind of messy right now. There's some pumpkins I made last weekend. We've got our front chairs turned around. All this is going to be on my pumpkin I'm going to participate in the family contest with. Here's our recliner. And that's looking at the back of my desk. The kitchen is here. And I've got some of my crafts from last year out here. I finished these on the live last night. They were little metal sleeves. I think you saw me starting them yesterday, Jen. That I decoupaged both sides. Then here is where our table used to be to eat at, and now it's Lisa's craft table for crafting and cruising. So it is. So the legs are off an old bed. Hey, Debbie Jed. And the table is from, the tabletop is from an old dining table, and Ronnie put it all together. He put me a bunch of plugs there. I have some more on top. Put me in some little places to put my paints. I have a little insert there. This is a pumpkin Rodney made when we were out of town last weekend. And then he took one of those umbrella lights like photographers use and adapted it to our light that was in here. So if I can find, oh, here it is, my little remote, I'll show you. I can dim it. We'll bring it right back up. And we've got a camera mount here, and he's got one on the desk down here. We haven't figured all that out yet. He's MacGyver. But we will eventually get that done. This is a pumpkin I made that was metal. And then I made this from a Hobby Lobby on sale after spring metal flower that I decoupaged. I made these when I was camping a couple of weekends ago from some little Dollar Tree metal planters that I turned into scarecrows. And then I'm gonna do those wooden soldiers for Christmas. I made this one last year. Rodney cut out that truck and that truck for me last year, and I painted them and used some Dollar Tree pumpkins that I cut in half. I made this one out of a Dollar Tree tray and a Mackenzie Child's napkin. Made those out of Dollar Tree, that out of Dollar Tree trays. I have several like sweater pumpkins that I made. I bought sweaters at Goodwill and stuffed them. Did the acorns, and most of these are the plastic eggs from Easter. And I just glued them together, painted them in the checks, wrapped this around the top, and there you go. These are pumpkins with the Dollar Tree crystal candlesticks. There's the splatter screen one in the back that I made, and then a white chenille one. I made that one last year. And then this is the bedroom. Don't have a whole lot of decorating going on in here. Do have my rag pumpkin that I made last year. Hey, Shelly Stacklin. This is the bathroom. And then you look back up toward the front of the bus, and here we are. So now you've seen it. Thank you for coming and being so supportive. So let me set this to the side, and now I'm going to turn you back around. And we are going to do, let me just leave it down here this time. Let me see if I can do this. I think so. I'm going to get some of my liquid leaf gold. Actually, this is, I don't think I have any of the antique gold. I've only got classic gold, which I don't love. Oh, I do have classic gold. Okay. Coming. So here's my sign. It says Hello Fall. You can see I did it in the black and white stripe. It was just wood, not painted, and I painted it off white. And then I did the black and white stripes. Took my stripes over the edge. I've got to put some more dots in some of these places I missed. And now my thought is, thank you for coming, sweet sister. I've got a little bit of resin on here, so I don't want to lay my thing down on that. Pretend like that's clean, okay? So now I'm going to try to move you back a little bit so you're not looking at my nose. You know what? I'm going to put you right back up here where you were earlier and tilt it down. I think that's probably better. I can lower it some. I'm going to swipe those to the side. Now, you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to shake this up, and then I'm going to get a small brush. Wish I could find the one I had out last night. Here, I'll use this one. This one's pretty tiny. See the end of that brush? So I'm going to put some of the liquid leaf. This is classic gold. And I'm not going to put quite as many dots on the white as I have in the black. I just don't think I need all those, a lot of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the end of my brush down in the gold, get some gold on it, tap it on my paper plate, and then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to tap. Can you see? Tap right here. And Debbie Riggs says, that wasn't a good one. Debbie Riggs says to try to make them in somewhat of a triangle pattern when you're doing your dots, so you won't have them like all in a row or all right next to each other. Now, I have already sealed this piece because I don't want to put a sealer on the antique gold. Sometimes it turns it a little bit like almost like a patina or something. So I don't want to put the clear coat over the antique gold. So I went on and put clear coat on everything else. And now I'm just going to be adding my dots. Some will be big, some will be small. That's okay. As my other painting teacher used to say, variation, she would tell us. You don't want all the same color or hue. You want variation in your paints, your paintings. So I hear her talking in the back of my mind a lot when I'm crafting. Variation. So this literally was from the Dollar Tree. Cost $1.25. And I added some paint and some antique gold, and that's all. But I think it looks a little more high-end than just the simple Dollar Tree Hello Fall. And like we talked about last night, you could use it in a wreath. You can use it, you could put a little some blocks on the back of it and make it just stand up on the counter. You could use it as part of a shelf sitter. You could use it on a tier tray if you had a big tier tray that you wanted to put some things on. All kinds of things. Hanging on a door on the inside. So let me show you all of these gold dots. So now I have black and white dots and I have gold dots. Sorry. Once again. Jody Bloodgood. I used on this, I actually just used Duraclear. Typically, I mix Duraclear, let me wipe this off, Duraclear and triple thick. The triple thick is really thick by itself. It's very glossy, but it's really thick. If you mix it with the Duraclear, it thins it down some. So I have a bottle here where I have mixed 3 parts triple thick, so you can remember triple 3, and 1 part Duraclear. And I mix it up, shake it up before I use it. It's not super duper shiny, so if super duper shiny is what you're going for, you might want to just use the Duraclear by itself. But I also use other things too. I've been, whatever I hear other crafters say they're using, I usually try them too. I know Royal Funky Junk still uses, I think, pretty much the triple thick Duraclear mix. Debbie Rigg was using it, but I think she has found, if somebody's on here that remembers what she said, will you type it in? It's I think you can get it at Michael's and Hobby Lobby, but it's just it's a one like one item. It's, you don't mix them. Hey Kimberly Wool, do you remember, Kimberly, what Debbie Rigg said she's using now for a clear coat as opposed to the Duraclear and triple thick combination? I can't remember the product, but somebody was asking, Jody was asking on here what I use for a clear coat. Of course, you can use the, you know, stuff you can, the spray you can get in the store. The reason I don't like using sprays is I feel like you lose a lot of your product to the direction of the wind, and that drives me crazy. Liquitex. There you go. Kimberly to the rescue. She uses Liquitex. It's just a sealer. I'm actually putting more gold dots than I had planned to, but I don't think it matters. And if you want to make bigger dots, a good thing to use for bigger dots is a pencil eraser. Now, usually I will take this and dip it, and then I'll wipe it. I'll dip it off on my plate. But I found with the liquid gold that you end up wasting a lot doing that, because you have a lot of liquid gold sitting on your plate, but it's not really thick enough for you to stick the end of your brush back down in and get any more paint. So I typically just go right to whatever I'm putting the dots on, and I try not to use a real heavy hand with it, and that way I don't have to worry about it spreading. So I just kind of tap it. But I'm perfectly fine with my dots not being all the same size. In fact, I kind of like it that way. Okay, let me finish this O over here, and then I'll hold it up and show you. The lady that's next to me, she and her husband are from Indiana, and she's the sister to my friend Rita, and she said that her daughter told her they got snow last night. I just wiped that with my hand. Dadgummit. Oh well, I'll cover it with white after it dries and redo it. I think she said where she lives they just had a dusting, but in the somewhere like not far from them they had like 4 inches. Okay. I smeared one up there too. I'm gonna have to be careful. You like? Thanks, Shelly. I like them too. I don't do a lot of things whimsical, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I think it just calls for polka dot. And especially I find that when I'm when I'm having like a brain fart and I can't figure out what I want to do. I think some people call it a nicer name. What do they call it? A crafter's block. Crafter's block. Yeah. And sometimes I'll have just a block and I'll think, I don't know what I want to put there. And then I'm kind of like, well, when all this fails, go with polka dots. So that's what I do. And they're so easy. Thank you, Kimberly. Did you ever put a video up or directions on how to turn notifications on so people can, if they don't know how to do it, can figure out how to turn notifications on for when I'm going live? And also, if Jen is still on here, Jen, can you, or if somebody else knows, you can tell me too. Tell me how, when I'm on a live, I can turn the camera around so that what you all are seeing is the right lettering. I know a lot of crafters don't like that. They say it really messes with them, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it successfully either. But I kind of would like to know how to do it. And so if you can tell me how to turn my camera once I'm on, I would be very appreciative. Because I tried 2 or 3 different things before I came on today, and it just wasn't turning my camera. But I see people do it even when they're already on live. So that's kind of what I want to know how to do. Yes, you can send it. I can send it to you, or I will try to. If you can post it on my page, that'd be great. If not, you can just send it to me, and I'll post it. But yeah, I mean, I can get on other people's pages and turn notifications on, so I know how to do that. But whenever I get on my page, I'm not seeing it the same way you guys are, and I don't see a place there to turn on notifications. So I don't remember enough about how I do it on my own page. I guess I just do it reflexively, and I don't really think about the process. Almost done, at least with the outside. I don't have the ones on the inside done, but I'm not going to keep y'all on here while I do that. That would be boring. Okay, could use another little one right there. Did I miss any? I smeared some. I'll have to go back and fix, but I don't think I missed any on the outside anyway. Let me put the top on this so I won't be like a lot of other people we know that have had little accidents with their gold. Okay, turn it over and show you. So there you go. Hello, fall. I may change this up here. I think what I'm going to do is add some beads up there, some wooden beads. I'll cut this part off and get another piece of twine, and I'll add wooden beads. That'll make it cuter. And then I can hang it inside or outside. If you're ever going to hang something like this outside and it's going to be in the elements, Debbie Rigg suggests using engine enamel, auto engine enamel, which you can get from auto stores. I think you can get it from Walmart. So it'll just help preserve whatever you're gonna put outside. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna go check on my resin project. I'm going to eat lunch and probably start trying to think about my witch I'm gonna carve and paint. So again, I appreciate you being on here and being a part of this page, and I love you, and keep praying for Beth and Randy, and I'll talk to you all later. Have a great day. Bye.